Thank you for purchasing the School Intercom Services Bell software program. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your first bell schedule. The first thing you want to do is open up your day scheduler and your calendar. These are the two main windows you're going to want to use, so what I would do is set them up so that they're both easy to read. Now that you got your windows set up, you want to go ahead and select your new schedules. So if you go to Day Scheduler, Add, you can start with your bell schedule name, and then enter in whatever bells you want to ring. We'll make it simple, so we'll have an 8 a.m., browse, choose whatever bell sound you want, and as you can see, they're all MP3s. We also are capable of playing WAV files, so if you have any sound that you want to be played through the intercom, you can. For example, we do have schools that will play their fight song. All you got to do is just save it as a file, put it in your School Intercom Services folder, you select it, and then we can configure it from there. In this case, we'll just use the default 3-second bell, and then we'll hit add and continue because we want to add another bell. We'll do an end of day, so we'll do a 3 p.m. We'll add and close, and now you can see you have an 8 o'clock and a 3 o'clock. The next thing we want to do is we want to schedule our default week. So if you go to set default weekly schedule, you can tell the system every single weekday we're going to have our normal bell ring. When you hit OK, the system's going to color code it so you know that this is what your new week is going to look like. You can also see that we have our current time is 11:41 and our next bell is going to ring at 3 o'clock. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add a new bell schedule, and in this case we're going to call it test. We're going to set a new bell, and we're going to set this bell at 11:43. We'll choose our sound file, add and close. Now we want this to ring today, so what we're going to do is we're going to select today, we're going to hit set an exception for the date, and we want to tell the system we're going to use the test schedule. When you hit OK, you can see that it is now a triangle. The reason why is because the system knows that this is a manually set exception day. And you can see we got our current time, 11:41. The next bell is going to ring at 11:43. So we've got exactly 1 minute. While we're waiting for that minute, we can go ahead and start programming another bell schedule. Let's call this one early release. We'll add a bell. We'll have our 8 a.m. still. And continue. But we'll do an 11 a.m. Add and close. Now we can come over here. We can set our default weekly. And we want to say that on every Friday is going to be an early release. If we hit OK, you'll see that it is color coded now, but it is a square. It's a square because it's our default week. So remember, anything that is a triangle is going to be your manual exceptions. Anything that is a square is going to be an expected. Now we've got about 10 seconds into our bell rings, so let's go ahead and make sure that that does ring, and then we can go ahead and proceed on to the next section. And that will be setting your exception schedules for everything. So you can hear the tone. We know that our alarms are going through. If you can hear it on the computer, that means that it broadcasted through the intercom. Now, we can go ahead and do our exceptions. So we know that we're coming up to summer now, and we don't want bells to be ringing during summer. So what we can do is we can go ahead and set an exception schedule. And we want to either say, you can say that you can have individual dates where it's no bells, or you can do a date range. In this case, we know that summer is going to go from, just an example, June 1st all the way until August 1st. For that date range, we want no bells to ring. You hit OK, the system will update, and you can see that you still have your manual exception, your default weekly, except now June, July are empty, and then it resumes in August. The benefits of this is that if you know that you have something coming up, so state testing, early releases, pep rallies, holidays, anything like that you know in advance, go ahead and set it up. And you can do this a full calendar year in advance. If you want, you can keep going, and as long as you can click it, you can select it. As you can see, I'm now going into 2027. You probably don't know the dates for 2027, but if you do, you can configure them. Now, like I was saying earlier, as far as configuring your sounds, some schools do like to play their fight song, and they'll do it as like a passing period. You can do that with this. If you were to select whatever alarm it is that you want to ring, you can go to Edit Bells, and then right here, Stop Sound File after X seconds. If you have a fight song that lasts for 3 minutes, you can select that and tell it to only play 30 seconds of it. When you do that and you hit OK, the system's going to remember it. So at 11 a.m., it's going to play the sound file. No matter how long this sound file is, it will play it for 30 seconds. If it's 3 minutes long, it plays it for 30 seconds. If it's 3 seconds long, it's going to play it for 3 seconds. So just make sure you have that configured, but feel free to set it up any way you want. You can have that for scheduled morning announcements even. It's whatever you want. But if you do have any questions or concerns, by all means, feel free to give us a call. We'll be happy to help you out in any way we possibly can.